Oh yeah, very nice. Stalin.
Didn't know that.
Which fucking jet? Huh.
The rogue used to be so good.
It used to be the fastest playing the game at some point.
Every plane was the fastest plane in the game. Except the Cuban.
No, the Cuban was always the slowest.
Why is your plane smoking?
It's not because of Eddie.
Okay, we're already starting our shit.
You go down, you spin my head right around.
My plane was already smoking really bad. After we lost you the first time.
I know I got places to be. Women are starting to go out of control. This is like mama, the phone.
No.
Time to go to Costco. Do you like Costco?
No. Does Costco like you? No.
Yes.
Why would Costco like you?
Why would Costco like you?
I do not know. Why would
You do not know? Come here, boy. Come here, boy.
it like no?
Costco like nobody?
No.
Why does Costco not like nobody?
Because it is a Costco.
Costco scratch.
Little shit.
The Costco scratch, you know?
Exactly.
Why you say like this? What about us, baby? Let's talk about you and me. We don't need no explanation. I love that, I just saw that. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm catching up with those kills of yours. How many times you've killed me?
I was getting in a helicopter.
No, I didn't care. Fucking destroying that shit too.
Taliban.
Taliban. Taliban.
There he goes, passive.
Taliban. 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 Oh, God, that's a nice fix. That's not nice. Very nice.
I'm not flying to you.
Why you want to fly into me yacht? You little Costco. Bled Costco.
Bitch ass cat.
I can see the fifth wall. You are not asleep. Taliban, Taliban. Mr. Taliban. Mr. Taliban. Taliban. Mr. Taliban. Oh God, this purple just fell. Nice to meet you all. We're here to help. I'll do my best. Give me Raiju! Please. Thank you for Raiju.
How much you bet these two guys are gonna look for shit?
Okay, don't kill me and I'll help you kill them.
No.
No, that's a bit of a dick move.
Say the guy who killed me 10 times and destroyed my Costco like how many times?
You kinda did the same thing though.
Holy Costco.
You did the same thing yesterday.
Cock funny.
I'm just gonna cruise, I'm not gonna go for anyone anymore. Wow.
Oh, no you don't.
No, we just fucking shot me.
Now you won't go after anyone while I'm going after you. Now I'm not going after anyone after I'm going after you.
I'm just bored of going for anyone.
And someone's trying to snipe me now. I'm not gonna bother going after you now. Someone's trying to snipe me, I'm gonna look who it was.
Taliban, Taliban. Mr. Taliban. Da.
Give him a good suck up, please. I'm getting tired of respawning this thing over and over again because you're a dumbass.
Wait, what?
I said get away from my Kosaka because it's getting irritating with you keep on destroying it over and over again like a dumbass.
I'm not gonna destroy it. No, not just call me a dumbass. I mean, I'm kind of obliged. No, I'm joking. Taliban, Taliban, Mr. Taliban, Taliban, Mr. Taliban. Taliban, Taliban, Mr. Taliban, Taliban. Where did you fly onto Costco?
I was going to, but my B11 stalled before I landed.
Your B11 stole.
Da.
Okay. Dobra. It's okay. Oh, do you know that I'm right behind you?
Oh no, you're behind me.
Okay. Luke, come over here, bitch! Come here, boy. I will help you respawn on the beach. Oh, that did not blow up like that. That's my bad, I was just going for Luke. I genuinely didn't know that they would blow up so easily.
You blew that thing up like at least 20 times already, you should know how easy it blows up.
No, it doesn't blow up that easy though. This will blow up on one rocket.
It did before as well. Yes, it did.
No, that's just shit.
I've heard you say
rockets.
since when anything blew up in one missile so many times before. You can't possibly be that stupid.
Oh my god, Luke, did you see that?
No.
Oh my god, I need to clip that.
How easy that is, Eddie.
I need to clip, holy shit, that was absolutely amazing. I went through such a small gap. Do you see that, Owen?
Why, you trying to shoot Luke and missed?
No, how like I shot at Luke, missed, and then I went through
I
the
saw it,
smallest
it's very
gap.
easy to do.
You try and do it. Go through that bridge over there. Go under that bridge over there at full speed. And you have to go through this area here.
I did it with a laser so many times as well, dude.
Hmm?
I did it with a laser so many times before as well.
Do it now. Fly full speed under here and then through here. With hit like but also hit my wing there, so
Fuck's sakes, controller.
you see what I'm saying? Not the
No
easiest
man,
thing
I
to
got
do.
controller drift, man.
And I hit my wing.
I got controller drift. My controller made my jet move right for some odd reason.
And I hit my wing.
I flew past it with my laser so many times. I went under these little blue signs here too with the laser.
Mm-hmm.
That's why with the
Do you guys
fire.
wanna go play some Fortnite?
No, I'm not going back to Fortnite.
Say again?
I'm not going back to Fortnite. Me and Luke
What?
were supposed to make money now, but your dumbass keeps on going after the Kosatka and him doing the bloody setups.
I'm not going after the Kasaka, I'm going after Luke.
You're going up to the Kosatka.
I'm not going after the Kasaka,
You
I'm going
were
after
going up
Luke.
to Kosatka.
I'm going after Luke.
So now if I can please just do the setup without you interfering, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm going for Luke.
Luke is the one that's helping me, so you must go and kill someone else.
There's literally no one else to kill.
There is.
Someone else is doing fucking cargo, what's it called?
Or they got to destroy them, they never stopped you before.
Do we have to be in a secure serve?
I would like now to announce
Does that answer your question?
watch thousands of high-quality documentaries and get access to Nebula using the link in the description.
I would love to, I'd like to play a little bit
In the
later.
1950s, a flight from London to New York was a grueling 13 hours. All the while enduring the noise and vibrations of piston engines, the occasional white-knuckle ride through a North Atlantic storm. And then, along came jetliners. They flew above the weather, and a flight from London to New York was cut to just 7 hours. The jet age revolutionized air travel, but an even bigger leap forward was just around the corner. In the upcoming supersonic age, airliners would travel twice the speed of sound and fly right at the edge of space, cutting a trip from London to New York down to just 3.5 hours. It was supposed to be the next giant leap forward, but instead, going supersonic would end up as one of the biggest missteps in commercial aviation history. In 1947, a rocket-powered plane breaks through the sound barrier. The first time in history, an aircraft is reported flying faster than the speed of sound. The monumental achievement puts to rest any doubts about whether man or machine could even withstand supersonic flight. And it was just the start. New speed records quickly followed as supersonic flight became widely understood. And it wasn't long before military aircraft were routinely flying well beyond the sound barrier. If a commercial airliner could be built to do the same, a trip across the Atlantic could be cut down to just a couple hours, pulling the world closer together. But flying at supersonic speeds requires engines that
There you go, Luke, get a setup for you.
as powerful as those on subsonic jets, streamlined wings and airframes, the materials that can withstand the high temperatures caused by air friction. With these technical hurdles, there were doubts about whether supersonic air travel made any sense. But only a decade earlier, there was similar skepticism around the switch from props to jets. Even so, the transition to the jet age happened quickly, and it left many aircraft builders behind. the upcoming supersonic age could end up doing the same. In 1949, the British stunned the world with the first jet airliner. It flew faster and higher than any airliner before it. The Comet was revolutionary, and with it the British were going to lead the world into the jet age. That is, until a design flaw caused a string of deadly accidents, temporarily grounded the Comet, which gave the rest of the world time to catch up. By 1960, for every Comet sold, the Americans were selling another 10 jetliners of their own. The British quickly lost their early lead in the jet age. But if supersonic air travel was the next evolution, Britain would have another chance to retake the lead. By 1961, the British had come up with an early design for a supersonic airliner. At the same time, the French were also working on a similar concept. As both efforts advanced, it made sense to join forces. And after a little creative deal-making and political maneuvering, the two countries partnered to launch the Concorde program, signing a treaty in 1962. Britain and France, once fierce aircraft-building rivals, would now work together to reinvent air travel. Thousands of the brightest French and British engineers were put to work making supersonic air travel a reality. Aside from maybe the Apollo moon landings, Concorde was the most technically ambitious project of the century. It would cruise at twice the speed of sound, with enough range to fly it across the Atlantic. Although it would burn more fuel, Concorde would make 2 flights in the same time a regular jet could make just one, offsetting higher fuel costs by reducing the number of aircraft needed for each route. In 1963, Mach was capturing the world's imagination and dazzling the press, and airlines placed orders for 70 Concordes, a number expected to grow by 1975. And beneath the Concorde's elegant lines was a triumph of engineering. Its delta wing took over 5,000 hours of wind tunnel testing to perfect, an ingenious shape that allowed Concorde to fly beyond Mach 2, but also slow enough to fly into existing airports. After burning turbojets were sourced from a Cold War-era bomber, but they were re-engineered with an innovative intake system that allowed for cruise at supersonic speeds for longer than any aircraft in history. With a streamlined airframe, Concorde's sleek nose obscured the pilot's view. The solution was a nose dome that lowered to provide better visibility during takeoff and landing. The sheer number of innovations was astounding. But by 1967, Concorde was ready to be unveiled to the public. Concorde landing, dozens of people telephoned the airport to complain about the noise.
But those who live near the runways at Kennedy Airport claim it's the noisiest plane in the world.
002 didn't help matters when it left with the loudest takeoff ever recorded at Tokyo Airport.
This magnificent machine is a prime producer of a sound that nobody wants. The sonic boom.
So far, several thousand people have complained.
National Science Foundation of the United States government has indicated that in fact, they say the plane is all wrong. Too near, too small, too dirty, and too noisy. Your biggest customers have gone down the drain.
Gone down the drain.
Concorde is always seemed to me it's part of particularly French patriotism if you kill it. What do you put in it?
I did not kill it. It never lived. It never lived. There was no future for Concorde from the beginning.
By the early 1970s, Concorde was facing a perfect storm. There were even doubts about whether the plane would make it into service. For one, Concorde's afterburning turbojets were quite and loud on takeoff compared to jetliners of the day, and it led to protests around the world. And like all supersonic aircraft, Concorde generated sonic booms, loud bangs, heard by anyone under the supersonic flight path. Public tolerance for sonic booms had clearly been underestimated, because one by one, countries started banning supersonic flights over their airspace. Evidence was also mounting that Concorde could damage the environment. If hundreds entered into service, regular high-altitude supersonic flights could destroy the ozone layer. But the biggest challenge facing the program was economic. Concorde had been designed in the 1960s, when jet fuel was just pennies per gallon. But it would enter commercial service in the mid to late 1970s, just as the price of oil began to skyrocket. Concorde burned nearly 4 times more fuel than even a first-generation jetliner, while carrying fewer passengers. The economics made no sense, and by the end of 1973, nearly every airline canceled their options, leaving just a tiny handful of orders, nowhere near the 150 planes the program needed to sell just to break even. All the while, development costs were spiraling out of control, to more than 10 times the original estimate by the early 1970s. But with the Concorde Treaty, neither France nor Britain could back out of the program without paying the other massive penalties. And we have to push forward. After 14 years of development, Concorde was finally ready to enter service. And on January 21st, 1976, 2 Concordes simultaneously lifted off, carrying their first passengers. It was a huge milestone for the program, but hardly the bold new era of mass supersonic air travel that many had predicted. Because British Airways and Air France were the only airlines to put Concorde into service, and both nationally owned airlines had been more or less forced to, each taking delivery of just a few planes, with limited range.
Empty as it is on the Bahrain run, it's costing them up to £20,000 a flight, even if it's nearly full.
In just the first few years, British Airways and Air France lost tens of millions operating Concordes. And by 1980, rumors were swirling that the planes would be retired early.
It might seem a strange decision to have the government subsidizing one of the most expensive forms of transport in the world.
But a dramatic turnaround was just around the corner. In the mid-1980s, British Airways and Air France were not only still operating their Concordes, they had figured out how to make huge profits with them. With the prospect of supersonic air travel for the masses having come and gone, with only 14 Concordes in service, the plane was transformed into more than just faster air travel. Instead, Concorde was rebranded into an ultra-exclusive travel experience, aimed at a new kind of passenger with much deeper pockets. By the mid-1980s, the price of Concorde tickets had doubled from what they were in the 1970s. At one point, costing upwards of $20,000 in today's dollars for a London to New York round trip. Concorde might have failed to revolutionize air travel, but it also opened up a profitable new market serving celebrities and the ultra-rich. And with only a handful of aircraft in service, public concern over the environment and noise faded. Instead, for nearly 3 decades, Concorde served as a symbol of pride for the British and French. But much like its development and introduction, Concorde's final years proved difficult. A tragic crash in July 2000, caused by a piece of runway debris, tarnished Concorde's impeccable safety record. A year later, the events of September 11th led to a huge decline in air travel. And then there were the challenges of maintaining such complex and aging planes. In 2003, after 27 years of service, the most recognizable and iconic aircraft in history was retired by Air France and British Airways, closing the final chapter of the most ambitious aviation project in the century.
How you doing?
There's a lot more to Concorde's story, and you can
No, bitch!
Nebula, where I uncover the
Yeah, they're actually populated.
Try to win over skeptical airlines.
We're just gonna make an aircraft carrier.
For a second-generation Concorde that never was. Nebula is where you can watch
Hold up a second. What if I fucking get her?
on YouTube without any ads or sponsor messages.
Wait.
It's
Oh
also
fuck.
home to a growing number of Nebula originals.
Shit, wait.
Exclusive content from your favorite YouTube creators.
Fuck, wait, no.
Right now, you can get free access to
Fuck,
Nebula
Luke,
when
stop.
you sign up for CuriosityStream. For just $2.99 a month, CuriosityStream gives you access to thousands of high-quality documentaries
Let me land this bitch.
and an ever-expanding catalog of topics.
There we go, I got it.
From nature
Let's go.
to science and design. Sign up for
We got an aircraft carrier, homies.
$2.99 a month. You'll get access to Nebula for free by going to curiositystream.com/mustard and using the promo code mustard when you sign up.
I can't because otherwise I fly out. Oh my god, yes. Oh fuck, wait. That doesn't work. That is so perfect. This shit goes next to the cabins.
By CuriosityStream. Watch thousands of high-quality documentaries.
You see the bullets?
Get access to my streaming service Nebula using the link in the description. In the 1950s,
Oh shit.
this is the pride of the Soviet Union. Was the first ever to be powered by jets. It flies faster, further, and is a showcase of Soviet technology. There's something wrong with this plane, because over the course of a few months, airliners
I pressed Mark 3.
this one have been involved in a truly bizarre string of incidents. And these planes aren't just crashing, they're being thrown up into the sky, sometimes by several thousand feet, leaving investigators racing for answers.
Owen.
The 1950s saw the start of a boom in commercial air travel. Flying had become safer, faster, and more comfortable. Those who had the means could now cross entire continents. in just
Wait, get on. And I'll try to detail this back to the limits.
in a day. Air travel had entered a golden age, at least in the Western world, because over in the Soviet Union, flying was dramatically different. Soviet airliners were at least a generation or two behind Western designs. They were slower, smaller, and offered little in the way of comfort. Even worse, they didn't fly very far. And in a country as
Actually, no, wait, don't get up.
that was a problem, because flying across the country from Moscow to Vladivostok meant having to
Holy shit, they just floated the A for me. Going towards the fuselage, the middle.
50 hours.
There you
It
go.
was made even more grueling aboard cramped and noisy aircraft that couldn't fly high enough to avoid rough weather. In the early 1950s,
What?
the Soviet Union was in desperate need of a new modern
No,
airliner.
fuselage
But
wings.
rather than just
Yeah.
edging up to the west, they were about to make a massive gamble on a new.
You see how high you're getting right now?
In 1952, the British stunned the world by introducing the first ever jet-powered
I have no
airliner.
idea. I can just see through the engine all the way back to the left
Twice
and
as fast as any airliner before it.
Oh shit,
15,000 feet high.
I'm gonna catch you.
Development had been a massive effort
Land on legit.
years of research and development. And while jet engines were still relatively new and
Land on legit, bitch, land on
you
legit.
could see that they were the next evolution in air travel, including one famous aircraft designer from the Soviet
You were saying?
Union named Herbert, who saw the chance of bringing travel into the future. A jet airliner like the Comet could cut
Get on, bitch.
flight times down by a third and enable air travel on a mass scale. The problem was Soviet leadership saw jets as unreliable, fuel-thirsty, and expensive.
I want to take off this limit.
What's more, the Comet had taken the better part of 10 years and millions to develop. Time and resources that Soviet leaders weren't eager to invest. But knowing this, Tupolev had a plan. Promised the top Soviet brass that he could build them a jet in just years. A reliable jet airliner with more passenger capacity than the Comet, built at a fraction of the cost. What's more, a Soviet-designed jet airliner would prove to the world that the Soviet Union was everything as advanced as the West. With an offer they couldn't refuse.
You know.
But how you build a state-of-the-art jet havoc over Europe, and for Tupolev, the basis of his new airliner. Having just finished designing it for the Soviet Air Force, Tupolev figured he was already halfway there. He just needs to widen the fuselage, but he could keep the engines, even if they weren't the most efficient, but a little loud. He could also reuse the wings, although better suited for high-speed bombing runs. It was engineering time. The pilots might just have to land a little faster. Same concept for the tail inverted stabilizer. They could largely be reused. Landing gear, avionics, and other components could also be plucked right off the bomber's assembly line. The heavy-duty military components would add up to nearly 800 pounds, making for one sturdy airliner. Designed in record time and built at a putting the finishing touches on a new plane, it was becoming apparent that the transition to jet travel wouldn't be so straightforward. By 1954, design flaws in the Comet caused a series of tragic crashes, which ultimately led to the aircraft's grounding. The Comet was banned from commercial flights for 4 years while investigators sorted out the issues. It meant by the time the Soviet Union's new jet airliner made its first test flight in June of 1955, the Soviets suddenly found themselves with the world's only operational jet airliner. But rather than take it as a sign of caution, they jumped on the propaganda opportunity. While the 104 was still undergoing flight testing in 1956, a delegation of Soviet leaders flew to Britain aboard the new plane. The rakish-looking airliner caught many off guard. Aviation experts and British news reporters, still reeling from the Comet's grounding, were kicked into a frenzy. The press were convinced the Soviets had leapfrogged years ahead of the West with a much larger and technologically superior design. For the Soviets, it was a propaganda windfall. It wouldn't be the last time they showed off the new jet. Over the coming months, 104s visited across Europe. Each time crowds greeted the aircraft, and dignitaries were given an opportunity to marvel at Soviet technology. In 1957, a 104 even showed up to the Paris Air Show, marking the first ever appearance by a non-Western. A few months later, the new airliner flew all the way to the United States for another state visit, marking the first ever transatlantic crossing by a jet airliner. For the Soviets, the 104 was a huge propaganda win. Quickly developing it out of a bomber seemed like a masterstroke of genius. The first signs of trouble were already here. Compared to other airliners, the Tu-104 was a handful to fly. Pilots complained about heavy, unresponsive controls, and the aircraft's enormous weight and highly swept wings made low-speed flying particularly challenging. Landing at busy civilian airports was a white-knuckle affair. Pilots were so afraid of stalling, it was common practice to land the plane at higher speeds than designed. Stopping was another issue. The airliner had no air brakes, no thrust reversers, and no set of wheel brakes. A hastily deployed parachute was often the only thing that kept the airliner from continuing past the runway. The planes were brushed off by Soviet authorities. That is, until 1958, the airliner began exhibiting behaviors that were impossible to ignore. The first sign of trouble came in February, when a CSA-104 flew into turbulence, which caused both engines to flame out. Without power, the aircraft fell 20,000 feet before the frantic pilots managed to relight the engines. A month later, another 104 ran into turbulent weather, but this time the aircraft was hurled up into the sky, and the pilots couldn't stop it from climbing, all the way up to 44,000 feet, higher than the plane should ever fly. Eventually, the aircraft stalled and began tumbling back to Earth before the pilots managed to regain control. Despite the near disasters, Soviet authorities were quick to blame the pilots, but the incidents continued. In August, another 104 was mysteriously hurled up into the sky. Again, the aircraft stalled, but this time the pilots couldn't recover, and tragically, there were no survivors. Just 2 months later, a 104 flying between Beijing and Moscow was once again hurled up into the sky. This time, the pilot heroically radioed back details as they were happening. While he couldn't save the aircraft, the information radioed back would prove pivotal. Authorities could
could no longer ignore the bizarre series of accidents. There was clearly something wrong with the plane. But remarkably, they wouldn't ground the aircraft, instead letting it continue carrying passengers while they were still working on Company Street. Eventually, investigators would come to realize that the cause was powerful updrafts the pilots couldn't counteract, and the aircraft's bomber-derived origins were partly to blame. The 104's larger pressurized cabin was prone to having its center of gravity shifted rearward, depending on how the aircraft was loaded. This meant that there was a natural tendency to pitch upwards in an updraft, and the aircraft wasn't powerful enough to counteract these forces, leaving the pilots.
Time for being
A
done.
number of emergency modifications were made, and the aircraft was restricted from flying above a certain altitude. But not before another incident in 1959, when another 104 hit an updraft before the pilots managed to recover. A critical design flaw had cost 144 lives, and although fixes were made, the aircraft would still go on to earn an extensive rap sheet of other accidents. The most common were runway overshoots, thanks to the tricky nature of flying the heavy bomber-derived airliner. Nearly 1 out of every 5 Tu-104 that was built would end up destroyed in accidents. But given the secretive nature of the Soviet Union, these incidents received
This place about to
so the airliner developed a notorious reputation amongst the traveling public, even becoming the theme of a 1960s folk song. Like the British, the Soviets paid heavily for pioneering jet travel. But by 1958, the Comet had been heavily redesigned and was back in service, and the Americans had introduced their own jet airliner, and a union were lengthened. And the operational lessons learned from the 104 would help pave the way for future Soviet airliners, earning the 104 a spot amongst the world's pioneering aircraft. I've been busy working on my most ambitious video yet, on the story of the most advanced aircraft ever built, the Northrop B-2 Spirit. I covered the mysterious plane's Cold War origin, the controversy surrounding its development, and why, 40 years on, it remains the world's most feared bomber. What started out as any other mustard video has grown to become my biggest project yet, and the video I've invested the most energy into. I'll be releasing it December 16th on Nebula. Nebula is where you can watch exclusive mustard videos like the story of the MiG-31 Interceptor, the legendary F-150
How much does a biscuit cost?
founder, along with
It's $5 on the electric law.
business jet and the insane Soviet plan for flying aircraft carriers.
How much is Bambushka? Where is Bambushka? 3.16, that's not bad.
Because Nebula is completely ad-free, creators aren't limited to making content that YouTube deems advertiser-friendly. The best part about Nebula is free when you sign up for Curiosity Stream, a streaming service featuring thousands of award-winning documentaries. A recent favorite of mine is International, a fascinating documentary chronicling the story behind a remote northern airport, which was once one of the most important in the world. Get unlimited access to both Curiosity Stream and Nebula for just a little over $1 a month.
Look, do you know what I play some Fortnite? Huh? Luke. Luke, can you fucking hear me?
Just be a popstar, starring Abel the Weekend Taffy and Lily Rosette, the HBO original.
After you get the IG?
Explores the glorious life and dark depths of a woman's journey to reclaim her status as the greatest pop star in America. Subscribe at
And I'll take him with a fly with.
Cold War submarine weighing 1,500 tons. Okay, so the naval
and a team of marine engineers.
Whoa, where's the Costco?
1,000 kilometers up Canada's east coast without being consumed by Atlantic storms. We'll capsize on it. We'll be making time for the highest tide.
The Costco?
When you think it's a catastrophe.
By taking shortcuts.
Oh wait, Owen is here.
And a hell-raising rail ride.
One shot. You have to
I should have killed him, goddammit.
100 nail-biting days that form
Oh, why am I inside these Costco? Oh, this is big. Maybe it's inside these Costco.
a titanic task that will test the nerves of the people there to do monster moves.
This video was made possible by CuriosityStream. Watch thousands of
It is
horror
Costco.
documentaries and get access to my streaming service Nebula using the link in the description. In the 1950s, this is the pride of the Soviet Union. A sleek new airliner, one of the first ever to be powered by jets. It flies faster, further, and is a showcase of Soviet technology. But there's something wrong with this plane, because over the course of a few months, airliners just like this one have been involved in a truly bizarre string of incidents.
Beautiful. Say hello to the sunshine for me. It has been a long time. Ugh, I need to flush the tank. I have seen worse operations than this, but not many. Back to the planning board. have brought my wrench. You get used to it down here, yes? I do not even smell the smell anymore.
It can outrun
Okay, but that's a fucking Blackbird. I'm talking about fighter jets.
for nearly a decade. The Soviet
The Blackbird is not a fighter jet.
will
That's a
remain
bomber.
completely missing and leave Western intelligence
No, that is
scrambling
used as a
for
bomber.
answers.
But otherwise, it is a bomber.
In the opening years of the Cold
A
War,
stealth bomber is what it is.
emerged the intercontinental bomber, an aircraft with enough range to reach nearly any part of the world to deliver a clear strike. America's first
It was a supersonic high altitude bomber.
It flew higher and faster than any bomber before it, making it extremely
Well, that was its main design.
and it started a decades-long
That was
trend
its
of building strategic
main
bombers
design.
that flew ever higher and faster. The Soviet Union responded by building increasingly capable fighter interceptors to try and stop them. But by the late 1950s, Soviet intelligence had learned that the Americans were developing a new state-of-the-art bomber that would fly so high and fast that would render the entire Soviet Air Force virtually obsolete. The XB-70 was so cutting edge that only a few years earlier it would have been impossible to build. The Americans were aiming to have the bomber ready in just a few short years. For Soviet leadership, a sense of panic set in. As the largest country in the world, there were over 22 million square kilometers of airspace to guard, and at any moment, American bombers could emerge from the north, or from bases in the east, or NATO allied countries in the west. And only a handful of supersonic bombers would be enough to overwhelm air defenses. The Soviet Union would have just a few short years to design and build a new interceptor to match the incredible performance of the upcoming.
Do you see where the cost goes?
Would have to be as fast as Soviet ingenuity could make it and develop in record time. But to effectively guard the country's enormous airspace, they also need to mass produce the new jet by the hundreds. MiG-25 was the Soviet Union's answer, an interceptor that would overcome the odds with brute force. To catch the XB-70, engineers would need to equip the MiG with enormously powerful engines, but there wouldn't be time to develop new ones. Instead, they would make do with a turbojet originally built to power cruise missiles and reconnaissance drones. They were the largest engines ever put on a fighter, but they were essentially disposable. It meant that initial versions of the MiG had engines with a service life of just 150 hours. At intercept speeds, the MiG-25 would have to withstand serious kinetic heating, with some parts reaching 300 degrees Celsius. But lightweight heat-resistant titanium was just too difficult to produce on a mass scale. So engineers built the jet largely out of heavy nickel steel alloy, a material that could be quickly welded together and easily repaired at even the most remote and ill-equipped airbase. But it meant that the more than 40,000-pound jet could never be maneuverable, a characteristic considered irrelevant for its mission. But enemy bombers equipped with a colossal 600-kilowatt radar designed to detect high-flying aircraft up to 100 kilometers away and burn right through their jamming devices. And it would need only one kind of weapon, 4 of the largest air-to-air missiles ever produced. Along with the interceptor, there would also be a dedicated reconnaissance version, with powerful surveillance cameras, increased range, and an even higher service ceiling. Some versions could even be equipped for high-altitude bombing. But the vast majority of MiG-25s would be built as dedicated interceptors. Mass production began in 1969, and at one point, 100 MiG-25s were rolling off assembly lines every single month. The MiG-25 would fly higher and faster than any combat jet in history, and it would have a profound effect on the Cold War, just not in the way the Soviets were expecting.
MiG.
Not in the way the Soviets were expecting.
MiG.
In 1967, the Soviet Union put on
It's called the MiG.
air show, and they made sure the Americans were watching. The event was even broadcast in English for Western
It is a MiG.
audiences. The Soviets unveiled several new aircraft for the very first time, but they saved the best for last. In the final 10 minutes, 3 prototype MiG-25s were sent roaring past the audience. It was the first time anyone outside the Soviet Union would see the new aircraft. And for Western intelligence, it set off alarm bells. The grainy footage revealed an air tears. In Washington, military planners struggled to understand how the Soviets could have leapfrogged so far ahead, because only a few months later, the Soviet Union started registering incredible new records for altitude. And the media soon caught wind, spreading fears that the mysterious new jet could outperform anything built by the West. The U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff even publicly admitted that for the first time, the Soviets had a jet that the United States couldn't match. The perceived threat motivated the U.S. to drastically increase performance targets for its next-generation fighters. But for years, the Americans were desperate for any information they could get. They'd catch another glimpse in 1971 when Israeli radar controllers began tracking MiG-25s over the Sinai Peninsula. The jets were clocked flying at more than 2.5 times the speed of sound and at an altitude of over 20 kilometers. At one point, they even tracked one of the MiGs accelerating beyond Mach 3. But the jets flew so high and fast, no fighter in the world could catch them. For over a decade, the MiG-25 remained a mystery and continued to worry Western intelligence. But that was about to change in the most dramatic way possible. On September 6, 1976, the Soviet Union's most secretive jet showed up seemingly out of nowhere over northern Japan. It then made a dramatic crash landing at a sleepy commercial airport, nearly colliding with an airliner and skidding right off the end of the runway. Over a decade, the MiG-25 remained a mystery and continued to worry Western intelligence. But that was about to change in the most dramatic way possible. On September 6, 1976, the Soviet Union's most secretive jet showed up seemingly out of nowhere over northern Japan. It then made a dramatic crash landing at a sleepy commercial airport, nearly colliding with an airliner and skidding right off the end of a runway. It was the first time anyone in the West would see a MiG-25 in person. And as curious onlookers gathered, no one seemed to know where it had come from or how it got there. Piloting the MiG was 29-year-old Lieutenant Herbert. He was quickly taken into custody, where he explained that he escaped the Soviet Union to seek asylum in the United States. Disillusioned with life in the Soviet Union and harsh conditions at his airbase, Ilyenka had planned his escape for months. While on a training exercise over the Sea of Japan, he reported engine trouble, giving him a chance to fall back from his group. Ilyenka then descended low enough to evade radar detection. Once out of Soviet airspace, he set course for the nearest Japanese airbase. But with limited fuel and difficulty navigating, he was forced to find the nearest airport. Ilyenka was well aware that his MiG-25 was a prized possession, and he provided invaluable information to Western intelligence, who shipped his MiG to a nearby airbase to examine every inch of it. And they were in for a shock of a lifetime. The MiG-25 obviously wasn't the agile fighter they were expecting. Its heavy stainless steel airframe severely limited maneuverability, and the large wings were needed just to keep the jet airborne. The engines, while powerful enough to exceed Mach 3, couldn't sustain those speeds without permanent damage, meaning the practical limit was around Mach 2.8. The MiG radar was powerful, but lacked look-down capability, meaning it couldn't track low-flying targets. The compromises that Soviet engineers were forced to make were now glaringly apparent, but they wouldn't have mattered much for intercepting a high-altitude supersonic bomber like the B-70. But the B-70 never made it into production. Instead, the Americans switched their tactics from high-speed, high-altitude to low-altitude radar and defense-evading aircraft, leaving Western intelligence perplexed as to why the MiG-25 was produced in such large numbers. The only other aircraft the interceptor would potentially have to guard against were a handful of reconnaissance aircraft. The same media that had once stoked fears about a Soviet superplane now openly mocked the MiG-25 as a crudely built machine that was more or less useless in combat, an inferior aircraft that proved that the Soviets were behind in technology. Belyanka's defection outraged Soviet leadership, who demanded that he return to the Soviet Union along with the stolen MiG. Instead, Belyanka was granted American citizenship, while his MiG was sent back to the Soviet Union in dozens of pieces. The Americans had learned everything there was to know about the MiG-25, and they now understood critical components of the Soviet air defense system. With the MiG-25 so thoroughly compromised, Soviet engineers had to work around the clock to modernize the aircraft, equipping the MiG-25 with more powerful and reliable engines, a more sophisticated look-down radar, and the ability to field a wider range of missiles. Meanwhile, older versions of the jet, no longer a closely guarded secret, were exported to other countries. In all, nearly 1,200 MiG-25s were produced. But more than 50 years later, the MiG-25 is still the fastest fighter jet ever built, an aircraft that would set 59 world records. In 1977, a MiG-25 climbed to an incredible altitude of 123,000 feet, setting a record that still stands today. Although the aircraft was built to intercept high-altitude bombers, downgraded export versions even saw moderate success in combat. But by the late 1970s, the Soviet Union had moved on.
Okay.
Development of a next-generation interceptor was well underway. A jet that would have cutting-edge avionics, sophisticated engines,
It's one of the MiGs that is still the fastest.
weapon control system so advanced it could engage multiple targets simultaneously.
You done yet?
Kilometers away,
Second
with other fighters to coordinate an
almost
attack.
done.
In the process,
I think this is the
I don't
last
know if it's the
setup.
MiG-25, but one of the MiGs still one of the
where the
fastest.
MiG-25's design was about brute force, the new MiG-31 would use the state-of-the-art to become the world's most formidable interceptor. You can learn more about the MiG-31's brilliant engineering in my latest video.
I'm actually quite fucking tired. I'm not gonna lie.
Nebula is where you can watch a growing number of my exclusive videos, like a bizarre proposal that would have seen the MiG-25 turned into a...
Dude, how's Facebook?
Nebula is where YouTube's top educational creators upload new videos
What the hell?
every day, and where you can enjoy videos
I'm gonna see
without
that shit again.
advertisements or
What?
sponsor messages.
Oh, you like it that
The
much?
best part about Nebula is
Link?
that
No.
when you sign up for
Yeah.
Curiosity
Are
Stream,
you
a streaming
bedonor?
service with thousands of big budget
Are you bedonor?
documentaries. A recent favorite of mine,
Arrivederci.
a beautiful documentary narrated by Harrison Ford that follows the incredible life of Neil Armstrong
What?
from his
Arrivederci.
early days in the Navy to his
I'm
air
happy that she shaves, but jeez, man.
and his eventual landing on the moon. Yet,
You.
access to both Curiosity Stream and Nebula for less than $2.
I'm happy that she shaved.
CuriosityStream.com/mustard and use the promo code mustard when you sign up.
And I just shaved my balls in your jaws.
Shave my balls in your jaws. That's be so bloody weird to feel in your mouth.
Where is that?
That's on Facebook
I just
Marketplace.
got my balls in your jaws, my balls in your jaws. Oh Jesus, we're into the Costco girl.
Up your mom.
As a matter of fact, I just did, just 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I saw her on the end of this penis here.
Oh, didn't go
What's on Marketplace that the person just shaved?
Oh, hold on, Gemma. Simply do this. I didn't hear them, but these guys made me laughing.
Abandoned at an Air Force museum outside of Moscow, is a relic of a machine that looks
I can only be Trevor.
from outer space. Designed 50 years ago by 20th century visionary
Really up.
60 Soviet engineer Robert
And I
had
Sent her a video that I sent you as well, Luke. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how Facebook can advertise that. I think the owner of Facebook was like, that was good, let me advertise it.
What is it?
It's a vagina, you idiot.
Wait, what? What's for sale?
I was looking for bikes, and the video popped as an ad.
Did you find any bikes?
Yes, I did actually. It's just her Betty fingering herself, that's it.
I can't see the video.
Yeah, it's taking long to send. Yeah, that's it. It's nothing to sell. It's just an ad of this woman having fun.
Unlike conventional aircraft, which have to be engineered to be as light as possible, ground effect machines
On the Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yet.
Is it not bugged?
You got the conspiracy load out.
Huh. Do the Kusapko entrance.
I sent the idiot as well. Yeah, it is, Jim, I agree with you. But it's funny though, I was going through Marketplace looking for a bike, and yeah, boom.
By 1960, diesel aircraft were becoming a reality, but they were highly impractical.
Remember to try and replay this.
Yeah, this remind me.
Added considerable weight, severely limiting the aircraft's range.
Oh, don't get.
But Martini's design.
Don't forget Squid.
I did it to you yesterday.
Wait, must I got application to do it?
Yeah.
Sure, I have to like restart the live stream then. That's irritating.
Martini would test his ideas using scale models and prototypes, but to build
You could just unplug.
I'm just gonna do it, honestly. It doesn't matter.
Fortunately for Martini, an opportunity would
I'll risk it on another account. I'll probably gonna use it.
I saw some black guy's name who had a white woman profile pic and Sandra Print looks selling fake hits and drivers with licenses.
Hold up. I saw some black guy's name who had a white woman profile picture, and Sandra Print looks selling fake IDs and driver's licenses. Yo.
I just amended the fuck out on the beach.
Let me get the number.
Okay.
Possible.
Can I maybe get my weapons now, game? Thank you.
With a Catamaran-like fuselage, this aircraft would be optimized to fly within the ground effect, giving it the endurance to fly long missions.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
It would also have wings, so that it could fly like a conventional airplane. Martini would also equip
I know,
the
Luke. I
aircraft
know what you're doing. It's very easy. I just don't trust myself.
system, giving it two
Oh, I know faster.
lift jets would allow for vertical takeoff from any kind of surface, giving the aircraft the ability to operate from
deliberately
the most
hates me.
harsh and remote
Yes,
regions of
like
the
everyone
world.
else.
Equipped with anti-submarine weaponry, Martini's machine could effectively counter the American
Did you
threat.
check your phone?
Impressed with the concept, Soviet leadership approved development.
If you lose your weapons there, it's not a glitch, it's just just part of the game.
Yeah, after we lose the weapons, it's just part of
Designed so unconventional,
At that point it's just a feature, it's not even a glitch, it's just a feature.
to bypass turbojets would allow the BB-18 to reach speeds of
So what happened, did you lose your weapons?
per hour and fly up to 33,000
Well, find out.
I figured out a
while
good
lift
route,
jets
by the way.
inside
I think Sandra Prinsley, my keyboard is being stupid again.
The route is American, route is British.
Hold on, I can't hear what you're saying.
Route is American.
I meant Sandra Prinsley. Okay. My keyboard is being stupid again.
sand, snow, or marsh to track down enemy submarines or crew assisted by an electronic flight navigation searching system, and would use magnetic anomaly detectors.
Okay, cool, then say route.
Luke?
Luke?
Luke? Hey, follow me, please. I know your routes like no killing people, it's probably a bit more faster.
You need
but
route.
that's quite risky.
And development was to proceed under the highest
Just follow me, please.
with early prototypes painted
Huh?
in Aeroflot paint scheme,
Nope.
given
Dude.
a civilian registration number.
You know how risky it is going doing that?
This was their answer to a
What you're doing?
problem. Martini set the groundwork.
You get an idiot like me, they'll fall off.
Owen, you just run in front of the guy.
Novel design take years
What?
You can just run between them though. You don't need to go through the roof. Okay, once that minigun...
How did you do that? How did you get there?
No, you did that yesterday as well.
Straight! Where that minigun's standing, you run through that.
I didn't even see you leave. What the hell?
This is the route I wanted to tell you about.
Well, I also want to do my thing. Kill these two.
We have to kill them after we kill the jug.
No, we don't even need to kill the jug.
You do.
You don't.
You do, believe.
It is shut up.
I want you shut the fuck up.
No, because you failed this
killing the
heist
jug
so
yesterday.
many damn times, dude.
I've done this heist literally so many times yesterday. That's
And
how
you
I know
probably
to
failed
have to
so
kill
many
the
times.
jugs.
You don't.
You do.
Okay, whatever, smart ass.
Seemed to be no limit to Martini's imagination. But before any of his grander ideas,
Makes it so much easier to kill the
Okay,
jug.
smart.
57 tons, the BA-14 would be the world's largest VTOL aircraft. Its lift jets would need to produce more thrust than the Soviet
Did you read it in there already?
Martini doubted whether the engine builder could deliver. And the BA-14's inflatable pontoons also proved to be designed to be inflated and deflated in the harshest of conditions. They used high-pressure air from the aircraft's cruise engines to fill 12 individually sealed compartments. The pontoons proved to be so unreliable, they were eventually swapped out for metallic floats so that other areas of testing could continue. But in reality, by 1974, technical issues with the inflatable pontoons
Was that the route you took with me yesterday?
Martini's concerns.
No, it's
It was becoming increasingly clear that the
The one on the
lift
ground.
would never arrive.
The one on the ground.
Vertical landings on sand, snow, or water would be impossible.
The one where you walk on the ground.
Ah, shit.
Not on the roof.
Yes.
Realizing
No, you
that
don't, just
the
yes.
entire concept was
Pretty good
compromised,
one.
Martini scrambled to modify the
No, it's
design
quick.
to allow the aircraft to take off from water more like a conventional seaplane.
Oh shit.
Proposed lengthening the fuselage and adding an additional set of forward engines.
This guy's
The
not to
idea
move.
was to use the forward engines to create a cushion of air under the aircraft.
No.
Modifications never worked, and Martini
This
never
guy's
lived
gonna
as
have to
contested.
move.
In December of 1974, he
I
passed away.
can't see anything.
We can kill everyone.
Oh, it's a black screen, Gemma.
After the BBA-14 program was cancelled, Soviet leadership instead ordered the
This guy gonna move
development
anytime
of
soon.
conventional anti-submarine aircraft.
This guy over here by me. He's just not moving.
Yes.
But had
And my Wi-Fi is giving up.
development been successful, it might have changed the course of Soviet aircraft design, because Martini
Luke, see this guy taking photo of me? Get ready to shoot him.
much bigger. With his belief in the revolution
Get ready to shoot him.
of the ground affair, Martini
Just do it, please, quickly.
5,000-ton flying
You ready?
aircraft carrier would be possible. A machine that
Ah, too late.
could cross the surface of the ocean and reach any part of
I
the
will
world
watch some other time when your Wi-Fi is better.
Oh my word, Luke, you're an absolute idiot.
You can learn more about Martini's
We screwed.
most ambitious design. My latest
They can see bodies now, and if we shoot that guy over there, he's gonna walk all the way. First of all, if we don't shoot that guy over there, ne? It's behind that gate. He's gonna walk all the way and see that body. And if we shoot him now, that minigun is gonna see him.
And that's why you should take out the minigunner.
And the best part is, everyone is free to sign up for Curiosity Stream, a streaming service with thousands of big budget.
Oh, yes, I can time this. There you go. Gotta be Luke.
If you're interested in learning more about secret Soviet projects, check out Tank on the Moon and learn why the world's first automated robotic rovers
On my screen it didn't run there. 3, 2, okay, we're
get an
reading.
entire year of both Curiosity Stream and
Yeah, Gemma, I'm gonna reset the
by going to curiositystream.com/cluster.
live stream now in a few anyways, so you can listen to us talk if you want. I don't know why this Wi-Fi does this. It's so stupid.
Get prepared to take out the big black monkey.
We don't need to kill
Yes,
him.
I'm listening.
Just do it, OJ.
We don't need to kill him. We really don't. We can't walk past this guy. Oh, we can actually.
Hey.
Okay, let's go up here. Don't have keys. Luke, what are you doing? Luke? Why are you going to the vault?
Is it just you and Luke on the live stream?
Or do you have 3 gold?
It's me, Eddie, and Luke. I think I got 3 or 4 gold.
No, what about me?
I think it's right here. Let me check. No, it's at the spawn. There's 2 of them.
What about me?
I'm live streaming, and she asked who am I doing it with.
Oh.
I got 2 gold, 3 gold.
There's a painting up there. Oh, do you have 3 gold?
Yeah, you already got 1 gold. And it's 2 at the same spot.
Okay, that's good.
We're good.
The heist isn't so complex anymore.
Yeah, the fact that you guys have to kill a minigunner is a bit honored.
No, it's just so if you kill the minigunner, you can kill more people.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time.
When you're looking for the keycard, it's not.
Now we're looking for the keycard, yes, I agree with that, but
wow.
We already found the keycards. And you still got
Yeah, well, you could have said that.
Okay, Owen, what are you doing?
I'm at the spawn where there's 2 gold waiting for you.
No, but if you're looking for the keycards, that's what I meant. I didn't mean you have to kill them, but if you start looking for the keycards, it's just makes it a lot easier.
You didn't say that.
That's what I meant.
I want to know what you meant.
It's fucking self-implied.
How's it self-implied?
Just is.
For you, yeah.
His brain doesn't work like the rest.
That is country though.
I'll rejoin in a few.
Okay. Your bag should be full, mine will be full now, so I get yours. That pile there. I'm still trying to figure out a way that you can just jump over the walls.
Alison, great to see you, Alison. Fantastic geek, Yorkshire Road. Louise, have you been gifted a sub yet, Louise?
Oh shit.
Hey,
shit.
We all
Get down.
tried
Get the fuck down. Get the fuck down. Remember, Megan is blind as fuck.
Doesn't have any peripheral.
Exactly. So you can kill anyone that's on the left or the right.
I'm already running away.
But he's also become hella unpredictable.
It is Eric from
I took the long way.
Hello guys, good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here. First time on this side of the mountain streaming, so I'm looking forward to the stream.
Up the stairs and
yeah, you're wonderful people on the show, and so yeah, definitely something to look forward to. You can see me about hard about but you won't see me without a hat, I'm afraid. Well, thanks for coming on, mate. It's great to see you. For those who don't know, a very warm up to the stream, but Eric runs another awesome Manchester live aviation channel called Map Aviation on YouTube. Do you want to tell us a bit about that, how it started out?
Yeah, I just like restart application.
Over 6 months since I've been doing live shows, so I've been streaming just a normal Facebook and video for
Look what you're doing.
and then I'm waiting for Juggernaut to go. Royal International Airport
Could have been here by now.
last year. That's when we did our first live shows, and
I was just checking what's his name,
Wait, when you didn't have to wait for the Juggernaut. You didn't have to wait for the Juggernaut.
Was a very, very rocky ride. With, we've been struggling to get.
What do you mean?
You didn't have to wait for the Juggernaut.
No, I didn't.
Then why did you say that? Never mind.
I had to wait for the Juggernaut to so I could get past him. Starting this year, we've got to
It's the first time doing this heist with you, Luke, over 6 months.
In over 6 months?
Yeah. Oh, I messed up. Great.
That's fine. Really are.
They despawned the bike here. Oh, no, it's over here now. They moved the bike.
Did you guys get detected?
Yeah, I missed a shot of this guy's head. That's fine, basically done. Jeez, I wish I could drive a bike like this in real life. Jeez, today. I was flying with this bitty bike now.
It's well bones here.
Didn't you notice that?
I only noticed now.
Really?
Yeah.
We did this heist like over 60 times, and you only notice it now.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know there was water here.
There's also a dead whale.
Yeah, I just found a dead whale.
I just found out there's water in the ocean in this game. Damn.
On the beach.
Damn, there's a coral reef here too.
Yeah, make sure you check out our channel. Links will be in the
Have you seen on the Wiz Beach?
Wait, why we have scuba gear? Since when do we have scuba gear?
I got 2 views now. I know one of them is a Gemma, but I don't know who the other one is.
Dominic, thank you very much for the
It's me.
Is it actually you?
Yes.
A lot of luck coming in for
It's me.
Okay, stalker.
Hello.